So again, hello, thank you for having me, particularly Mr. Statton. I'm here today to talk about something very important, a new piece of federal legislation developed by the grassroots that will offers a real solution, a flagship bill designed to build enough movement power to topple big ag and big oil, retake our democracy, and save the future from climate catastrophe. The Earth Bill, the Earth Bill, the Earth Bill. That's not its real name. That's what the activists call it. And that's the name that we think is easier for the people to grab hold of and work with. Next slide. And now we have something huge to manifest. We have to get Congress to pass a law to stop our climate change. If this were possible, it would have already been done. So we need a miracle of unity. Unity of the environmental movement, of civil society at large, and the public. We need to put protecting our planet at the top of our to-do list. We have to take action collectively as one humanity and to have real power. We need to focus together on a shared demand. The Earth Bill, the Earth Bill, the Earth Bill. In a short 15 pages, this bill stops climate pollution from electricity, cars, and food by 2030. Electricity, cars, and food. 3 kitchen table issues to connect with and engage the public. It's our monthly bills every month paying these corporations. And it's our right and our duty to make them stop our pollution. The Earth Bill does this by mandating that utilities, car manufacturers, and agriculture corporations that are publicly traded, the big ones, stop the climate pollution at the source, at the factory, on a timeline. And this is the central idea that we must put on the agenda. Mandates on industry to stop greenhouse gas pollution on a timeline. That's what the mega corporations fear most and why they control our government to avoid just such a law. They are so powerful that this obvious, common sense, and necessary solution is not even on the agenda in Congress and not with a lot of environmental groups either. And we have to change this. So the Earth Bill, created through an open community process, reclaims our right and the duty to pass pollution policy in the general welfare, not the corporate welfare of a few greedy corporations. This is the important factor, the paradigm shift, the new demand, the idea we want the top of the agenda in Congress and the United Nations, that we the people have the right and Congress has the duty to mandate an end to climate pollution at the industry level. The Earth Bill, the Earth Bill, the Earth Bill. The most important test of any climate legislation is whether it will actually reduce greenhouse gases, how fast, and with what degree of certainty. And according to experts who led Project Drawdown, now with regenerative intelligence, we spent years begging to help us do analysis of this bill. And they finally did it. The Earth Bill will reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by an additional 40% by 2030 and an additional 50% by 2050. And this puts zero emissions in reach. And that's got to be the goal, cut out all greenhouse gas emissions. This would meet the U.S. Paris Accord goals and is the only legislation to do so. And the mandates in law make it certain and bankable. And that means that private investment will come forward and build the transition to a clean economy at scale and on time. The Earth Bill also has great co-sponsors, you already heard. Representative Adriano Espaillat graciously agreed to be the lead sponsor, and he and his team have been phenomenal. It took us a year to get the bill through the House Legislative Council, working together. And a shout out to Francesco Orrego, who's moved on to Representative Goldman's office, for working and putting up with me while I really pressured him to get that bill done. They were more than gracious about it. And it's supported by a highly prestigious and respected group of co-sponsors. Representative Nydia Velazquez and Gerald Nadler of New York, Barbara Lee of California, Raul Grijalva of New Mexico, Lloyd Doggett of Texas, and Chuy Garcia of Illinois. These are the grand dames of the Democratic and Congressional Caucus. And Nadler, led the impeachment proceedings. Barbara Lee is extremely well respected. Rahul Grahava is the head of the Natural Resource Committee, or it will be the Democrat. And Chuy Garcia is a leader in that environment as well. Next slide. As you heard, the Earth bill technically mandates 100% renewable energy, zero emission vehicles, and regenerative agriculture by 2030. And it requires these industries to plan and lead the transition with public oversight and support. This solves so many problems, it's hard to list them all. It stops most of the demand for fossil fuels. So it stops the pipelines and drilling and the energy factories. And that stops the asthma and the factory pollution that is killing and maiming the lung disease. This will clean the air of New York City, quiet the streets, and solve environmental justice problems at the source. It also takes charge of 1.7 trillion acres of farmland and requires nature-based practices that protect our soil, the water, and our food supplies. This stops ocean dead zones, helps prevent floods, retains water during droughts, and absorbs carbon. The bill also stops the abuse of farm animals. And it stops our climate pollution at scale and on time. With all of this, it is designed to unite activists across causes for collective power. The 2030 deadline. This is both doable and obligatory. Make no mistake, our ability to stop our climate pollution this decade will determine the fate of humanity. And the trajectory right now is terrifying. The latest UN report says repeatedly, we must make a rapid and deep reduction in greenhouse gases this decade, or we're going to blast through the internationally agreed upon outer heating limits and enter a point of no return. The Secretary General of the United Nations calls it a ticking climate time bomb. So we must focus. We do not have time to fix everything else first. There are core systemic problems and many social injustices to repair, each very complex in its own right. If we require these to be fixed before we stop our climate pollution, it will be too late. We need to force the existing system to stop our pollution and stop it now. And in doing so, we will fix our democracy and put corporations back in their place. The Earth Bill, the Earth Bill, the Earth Bill. On this point, the bill offers a real strategy to break the power of corporate oligarchy over Congress. It calls the question on big oil and big ag's control of our democracy. And the climate emergency offers a unique common concern that could unite enough people and causes to finally have enough power to prevail on this grand idea. No individual cause has this power, and every other topic we care about, from war to guns to healthcare, is blocked by corporate power. If we break the backs of these biggest, most powerful corporations, I believe the rest will fall like dominoes. Climate pollution is their Achilles heel, their weak spot, and this crisis provides an opening we've never had before. This is a very important strategic idea. Right now, we're fighting and losing every social battle because we're still fighting alone and divided with small numbers in each camp. The planet and our common concern for our existence and well-being should be the basis for unity. But we are still divided, even in that space, pushing a million different ideas. The Earth Bill gives us a chance to unite if we are willing to embrace it. If we could click our heels and manifest this, we would all be hugely thrilled and relieved. We could tell our children honestly that we are finally stopping this crisis. So we need to embrace this win and make it happen. The question is now, can we unite to save ourselves or not? The Earth Bill also provides a powerful organizing tool. It allows citizens everywhere to take the bill like the Civil Rights Act and run with their own voice and their own tactics. It provides a litmus test for each congressperson, so you can push them individually to co-sponsor and push their supporters and their donors, forcing them one by one to decide between pollution companies and the people and planet. This makes it clear who to vote for, and we have to call this question. Electoral politics and elected officials are the only levers of power that we can really influence directly. 435 representatives and 100 senators control the fate of humanity and the world. They alone have the power to mandate an industry transition at scale to outlaw climate pollution. But we are not yet focused selectively on any of them. The political status quo will change when we do. The Earth Bill is the sun rising on a new tomorrow, where we the people will govern ourselves to protect our common home, a blessed miracle in the cosmos. We now have a people-driven grassroots demand, the people's demand, daring to go where the environmental movement has not yet, demanding mandates on industry to stop pollution on a deadline as science requires. We now have a flagship bill around which to build a powerful, unstoppable movement. There are millions of citizens concerned about this situation. They are desperate for a solution they can believe in and fight for. Our job now is to convince everyone to unite. And this is a tall challenge that confronts the essence of individualism and individual survivalism that capitalism and the love of money has embedded in our souls. To break this spell, we invite everyone to pick up this bill and own it and run with it. It is your bill. It is our bill. We cannot do this alone. We cannot do this without you. Everyone's welcome to join the Earth Bill Network. It's our grassroots volunteer network that I run, all volunteer. And you can work with other volunteers by congressional district. You can work with our faith teams and on many other fronts. But the real idea is for each person and organization to organize for the bill in their own way, to set up their own district teams or promotion campaigns. Creation Justice Ministries and EarthDay.org both have letter writing campaigns to Congress that they set up directly on their own websites. This is a great example of how a shared goal can empower exponential advocacy for collective impact that's far greater than anything we can plan separately. So please just grab the bill and go, go, go. All the information you need is on the website, earthbill.org. Starting now and going forward, we must organize like first responders, relentlessly and urgently. We need everyone. So please ask all the groups you're connected with to endorse the bill. Help find people in the local Democratic committee, who I bet some of you here know. Your alumni association to get your universities to endorse. Chambers of commerce, business leaders, financiers, and major donors. We'll need every lever of power out there pulling together to prevail. For decades, big oil and big ag have dominated our democracy. They're now taking us over the ledge of self-destruction. This is the David versus Goliath battle, if there ever was one. The love of creation is facing off against the love of money. And here we are at the moment of truth with destruction in the air and the choice whether to rise up or not. Oh, how I want to be in that moment when the saints go marching in. I've heard it explained that David was an expert with a slingshot, a major skill and battle tool in those days. And despite Goliath's huge size, from a distance, with a targeted, precise tool, he prevailed by hitting his weak spot with great force. The Earth Bill is a similar tool. It is precisely focused to address greenhouse gas pollution, the policy weak spot of the mega corporations we face. And the climate crisis provides force to our tool, driven by deep concern and anxiety. We're not trying to take away our consumer necessities. We're just saying to make them without climate pollution. And I think this is a winnable fight. Before doing this, I organized the grassroots to push the gay rights establishment and the DNC to file the Equality Act, which now has passed the House twice. It took protests of our own groups, finding the major donors, the clout, and constant pressure from local activists. It is possible to force the movement to be braver. It is possible for the people, for all of you, to make the Earth Bill a movement-wide demand. This is a necessary first step because it will take all of society pulling together to succeed. Already over 600 local leaders and 100 local groups have pledged support, and that got the bill introduced. That was the hard part. Now comes the impossible part, passing the bill. The plan for passage is aggressive because time has run out. The goal for 2023 is to make the bill a collective demand, to get 100 more co-sponsors. 100 co-sponsors supported the Green New Deal resolution. They should now put that resolution into practice. This is the bill that makes it happen. And we want 500 more groups. So if each one of you reach out to one, we're halfway on our way. We're partly on our way. And we need to make that Earth bill a household name. And that's a hard trick. We're going to work through celebrities to get public awareness. It's not easy. So if you know any famous people, we need your connections. Then in 2024, we're going to ask every federal candidate to take a position. And then together, we will mobilize the vote for Earth to get the best Congress we can to get on this task. And in 2025, when the stars and the people align, we can and must push this bill over the finish line. It will not be easy. When I say it's impossible, I don't mean to say that like the miracles that are going to be required are significant. Each one of them a miracle. Together, impossible. If this were doable, like I said, it would be done. But it is necessary and it will be possible if we all pull together and organize faster, faster, faster. To close on a personal note, once in the woods, I received a message that said, the Earth is not here for you. You are here for the Earth. And I now know what that means. And I am on a journey and quest now to live up to my highest call, to protect this magic source of life that provides a blessed space for all of our spirits to manifest. For all who undertake this quest, I believe that by rising to protect Mother Earth, we will realign with nature and we will find true liberation for a blissful visit here in paradise and a blessed journey beyond. Inspired by the season and the miracle of life all around us, I leave you with this prayer. Like the leaves blooming in spring, may an endless number of voices sing in unison, one song, one refrain, one demand. The Earth bill, the Earth bill, the Earth bill. Aho. Amen. Thank you.